Hello everyone, this is Dr.Syamala Devi from the Department of MBA International Business Management Studies, Acharya Nagarjuna University. Today's our topic is regarding centralization and decentralization of authority. So, before going to this topic, I just want to give an introduction regarding the authority. Okay, so authority means the concept of authority defines that the authority is the right to issue orders and to get the decisions carried on. Okay, and authority means it is the right to guide and direct the actions of others. So, we can say that superiors, they will guide, okay, they will direct, they will instruct, they will give instructions to the subordinates and to secure from the responses, okay, which are appropriate to be achieved or for the achievement of organizational goals. So utilization of organizational resources to make decisions. So authority is the power to make decisions which guide the actions of others. Here, others are nothing but our subordinates. So, superiors exercise the powers means they guide, okay, they will direct, they will give instructions to the subordinates to perform the work effectively in order to achieve the organizational goals. Okay, now, so authority means the meaning is that. And now coming to centralization of authority and decentralization of authority. So what does centralization of authority means and decentralization of authority? Here in this figure we'll see that the arrow mark that is showing for centralization is one person is at the center and the other persons will be around him. So from this person, the directions or else the decisions will be carried on, okay, to the next levels of management. So the center person is regarded as the top level management. So from there onwards, the directions or the guidance will be going to the next level of management. Okay, it means that concentration of power, okay, concentration of power, decision making, okay, all planning, all will be done at the higher level of management, which is known as top level of management, right? So centralization means the concentration of the power to make decisions at the high level of management. Okay, and it, it means the decisions regarding the work are not made by the subordinates. Okay, they only perform the work according to the instructions that were given by the higher levels of management. The whole powers vest with the top level management. All the state of affairs will be made by the top level management. Okay, the powers will be retained with central authority only, that is nothing but the higher level management. The powers are not delegated to the subordinates. Only the work that should be performed by them, it is only uh, the directions, according to the directions given by the higher level of management, will be performed by the subordinates, right? So this is known as a centralization, the basic meaning of centralization. We will have a top management, they will do planning, decision making, each and everything. The whole power, the highest power resides with them. No delegation of power we will not see in this centralization of authority. Okay, next, coming to definition. So according to Allen, he defines centralization as the systematic and consistent reservation of authority at central points in the organization. Okay, so in this figure also we will see in center point the top level management will be there. Okay, so the approach is also top to down approach will be there. It means the communication will be from top level to lower level management. So centralization, centralization of power vests with the top level management. Okay, from there onwards the communication will be made to the other levels of the management according to the work performance. Okay, they will guide, they will direct. Okay, or else the decision making will be made at the top level management. And coming to the features. Okay, so what were the features of centralization of authority? Till now we have seen that centralization of authority means the whole power vests with the top level management. Okay, from top level management each and everything will be carried on according to the instructions of the top level management. The other level management performs according to the decisions taken by the top level management. Here delegation of authority will not be seen. Power vests with only top management. The subordinates only perform the work that is given by the higher levels of management. Okay, means concentration of authority and decision making vest or resides with top level management. Okay, so we can say that power is concentrated at the center. So we can analyze that the crucial planning abilities and decision making will be made at the heart of the firm. So heart of the firm is nothing but the top level management. Without top level management there is no existence of the organization. Therefore here the centralization activities, okay, it majorly involves planning and decision making. Okay, so all these are focused by the top level management. Okay, so therefore we can say that control is focused at top level management. Okay, it is known as centralization. So actions regarding planning, policies, state of affairs, okay, all are dealt by the top level management. Okay, now what are the forms of centralization? So we are saying that centralization is authority. So top level authority, center point authority. So in which form this centralization of authority will be executed, right? So administrative authority for planning, organizing, coordinating and controlling may be reserved for top level management. So centralization of authority relies on the top level management regarding planning, organizing, coordinating and controlling. All these are the functions of management. Okay, so these powers vest with top level management, and operating or executive authority may be reserved with middle level management. It means that operating level means, under operating means daily activities. Okay, daily activities in each and every department, they will be looked after by the middle level managers or else functional heads of a particular departments. So those activities will be seen by the middle level management. Those are related to only operating activities, the day to day activities. Okay, for example, if we take purchase manager, he has to look over the purchase of raw materials regarding the product. Okay, so definitely it is a daily activity. He has to purchase raw materials in order to produce the products. Therefore the decisions regarding the raw material purchase, how much he has to purchase. Okay, so these will be uh, seen by the functional head of that particular department. And coming to another one, command and control over the operations at the lower level may be placed in the hands of higher authorities in the line. Okay, so command and control will be on the top level management only. The higher authorities have control on the lower level management, and this work will be delegated to lower levels, but authority may be retained by higher authorities. So from the beginning we know that authority or power, okay, it is retained by higher authorities only, and lower authorities are not delegated any power, but they are seated there to work only. Okay, so in highly centralized organizations, the entire authority is concerned in the hands of few officers at the top level management. Okay, highly centralized means here no other persons will be involved, only the top level management look after all the things in the organization. So highly centralized, each and every minor thing will be considered only by the top level management. Okay, so hence subordinates cannot act independently. Why? Because each and everything is seen by the top level management. The subordinates, what can they do means they only perform in their work only. Okay, they have to take orders from the higher authorities before doing anything. Okay, so they are not permitted to take any decisions, okay, or act according to their interest, but depending upon the orders that were given by the higher authorities, according to that only subordinates should act. And what are the factors that determining centralization of authority? Okay, different factors determine centralization of authority. So what are those factors? Okay, which force an organization to be centralized? Okay, in small organizations, the owner or the top management is responsible for making all the business decisions solely, whereas the delegation of work among the subordinates takes place. Therefore, centralization persists in these business units. So, basically, centralization of authority will be possible in small organizations rather than large organizations. Why? Because centralization means the whole authority, the power vests with top management or else the owner of the organization. Okay, he solely look after all the organization's performance. So if at all it is large organization means a person cannot handle a top management. Okay, so therefore if it is a small organization means he can handle personally. So therefore for this centralization of authority will be useful for small organizations rather than large organizations. And these are the following factors which determine the centralization of authority. First one is nature of organization. So what does nature of organization means? So when organization is generally a sole proprietorship or partnership entity with less number of employees to be managed, it can have a centralized system. So that is what we have studied before. Small organizations means nature of organization. If at all the organization is with less number of employees, okay. So whenever we are having less number of employees, we can manage. Okay, so that's what we have studied in this span of control. Okay, so under span of control, how a manager, how many number of subordinates a manager can manage. Okay, likewise here also, smaller organization, smaller employees, less number of employees means, okay, the owner or the partnership entity, they can manage the employees. Okay, they can manage the work. So there, in such case, centralization of authority or else the authority can lies with the owner or the sole proprietorship of the organization. Okay, so therefore nature of organization determines whether to use centralization of authority or decentralization of authority. Okay, so if at all ours is a small organization means, so we ourselves can manage the organization. So there in such a case, centralization of authority, each and every decision can be taken by ourselves only. Okay, coming to next one, size of the organization. If the size of the organization is small, operating on a small scale and efficiently managed by top management, so hence following a centralized system will be better. Okay, so size of the organization. Okay, and so previously in first point we have discussed about nature. So nature in the sense the it may be partnership or sole proprietorship. Okay, whether the owner can maintain the organization or in a partnership with less number of subordinates. But here, size of the organization, more number of employees are working or less number of employees are working, it depends upon the size of the organization. Whether the size of the organization is big means, for example, if at all 50,000 or 80,000 members are working means, so there centralization of authority may not be possible, because in order to manage many number of people employees in the work means, having authority with only owner means we cannot manage the work properly or effectively. Okay, so in such cases, in larger size of organizations, work should be delegated to subordinates also. Okay, and coming to nature of task, so what does nature of task means? So the organizations engaged in business operations which does not require much expertise or specialization can be managed through centralization. So centralization means we know that power is existed with the top level management. Okay, so whenever there are the work is a specific work, that work needs any specialization or expertise means, in such cases, okay, decisions should be taken by the skilled persons. Okay, the expertise persons, the specialized persons. So in such cases, decentralization of authority should be given. Okay, so in such cases centralization of authority is not correct. Okay, so it depends upon the nature of task also. uh, Business operations with a daily routine work, routine things can have a centralization of authority. But wherever in such cases, in organizations, if at all the organization deals with expertise or specialization means, so in each and every task the centralization of authority involved means, so it takes definitely more time consuming, and at the same time effective decisions may also not be cannot be taken. Why? Because of the specialization or expertise in that particular field. Therefore it defines the task also. If at all the nature of task is general means, so centralization of authority is possible. Okay, or else decentralization of authority is necessary there. Okay, coming to delegation ability. Delegation means the capability of the management to delegate the responsibilities to the subordinates while keeping the charge in their hand. This is another factor for determining the organizational structure. Okay, so here delegation of authority, we all know that we are delegating some authority to the subordinates to perform the work smoothly. But here in this centralization of authority, delegating the work, okay, delegating the responsibility, but the power will be vested with the hands of the top level management only. Okay, but the workers or the subordinates should work according to the directions of the central authority. Okay, so that is known as the delegation ability. Even though the delegation of ability is given to subordinate, it will be in the form of responsibility only, but not the power or authority. Okay, and coming to employees efficiency, so what does employees efficiency? It also affects the centralization of authority. If employees lack skills and efficiency, for example, in an organization, if the employees are not that much skilled people, that much efficient people, okay, then definitely in such cases, centralization of power is needed. Why? Because as the employees are not able to take efficient decisions, okay, so in such cases, definitely centralization of power is needed. Or else if the employees are skilled people, efficient people, very responsible and accountability people, so in such cases decentralization of authority can be managed. Okay, so these are some of the factors that are affecting the nature of the organization structure, whether we have to follow centralization of authority or decentralization of authority. Okay, here if we have seen, all these cases leads to, all these factors leads to the centralization of authority. Okay, all the factors demands the centralization of authority.